Fire up the comments section. I might catch it for this one. Welcome back to HMP. My name is Adam, and today we have another entry into the Filling in the Gap series with Eraserhead from 1977, directed by the late, great David Lynch. I gotta admit to you, David Lynch, a little bit spotty on my viewing history and everything here, but I'm really happy to right my wrongs, so don't worry. Now, in high school, all of my movie nerd buddies talked up Blue Velvet. They were like,
"It's so good, Dennis Hopper's so good, oh yeah."
So I finally watched it at Blockbuster Video, and I hated it. To say Dennis Hopper is going over the top and chewing on scenery is like saying the Pacific Ocean is wet.
What are these? Don't say please, fuckhead!
The whole movie felt like a bad ride, and I just couldn't wait to get off of it.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Indeed. Mulholland Drive came out when I was in high school, and movie nerds again were talking about this new David Lynch film like it was the second coming, man. They were like, oh, it's the Twin Peaks guy, it's the Eraserhead guy. I knew of Lynch, but most of his work didn't really particularly appeal to me, so I never really sought it all out. Curiosity got the better of me, and I finally saw Mulholland Drive when it came out on home video, and I hated it. It was odd, disjointed, seemingly free of any kind of traditional narrative. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I'd finally understand what the hell this movie was about. Only that never happened. Come to find out, it was just all stitched together from ideas that he had laying around, and he just patched them all together and everything. Now, whatever your thoughts are on Mulholland Drive, it just didn't do it for me at the time. Now, having written off David Lynch as not my thing, I ignored most of his films, and I really didn't feel like I was particularly missing out on anything. But one day I did decide to check out The Elephant Man, as I was interested in the actual real-life events that surrounded it, and it was often said that this is probably one of the more straightforward David Lynch films out there. The most accessible David Lynch film, they said. And they weren't really wrong. Anthony Hopkins has a very strong performance, but obviously the star of this is John Hurt's amazing performance as John Merrick. It is absolutely amazing, and you get to see a lot more of Lynch's hand in a non-surrealist kind of manner, which is really all I had seen of his work at that point. But how did Lynch get The Elephant Man, especially after his first feature, Eraserhead? What was it that Mel Brooks thought when he saw Eraserhead that made him go, oh, this is the guy that I should have for this more traditional biopic and everything? Well, it wasn't always Mel.
Stewart took me to the New Art Theater, a small, out-of-the-way movie house on Santa Monica Boulevard, known for showing different films like John Waters' Pink Flamingos. We went there because Stewart was bugging me to see the work of this guy, a new director on the block called David Lynch, and his new film, Eraserhead. It was a beautiful film, and like I wanted The Elephant Man to be, it was in black and white. It was weird and crazy, but in the end, for a novice filmmaker, it was a wonderful picture.
I tried to watch Eraserhead in the past, but I was pretty sure that I would always start it kind of late at night and everything. And if you've never seen Eraserhead, you may want to be careful of this idea, because while this movie's a little bit disturbing, it's also fairly soothing. The droning industrial background noise, this smooth humming white noise accompanied by stark black and white imagery, man, you kick your feet up too high and you might be off to Napsville a little bit quicker than you'd expect. I'll be honest, I didn't really make it through the first couple times back in the day. With the recent passing of David Lynch, I only thought it fair to go back and fill in the gaps that I have in his filmography. And what better movie to start out with than the feature that started it all, Eraserhead. Now here's the IMDb plotline for Eraserhead. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. Henry Spencer tries to survive his industrial environment, his angry girlfriend, and the unbearable screams of his newborn mutant child. That is succinct and pretty spot on. Good on you for a change, IMDb. To try and describe to you the plot or events of Eraserhead outside of that log line would really be an exercise in futility. I've always wondered why, when I heard people talking about Eraserhead, that they never really touched on the actual story, as it were, and now I know why. It's been commented on so often, I know I'm not breaking any new ground here, but this movie is very much about the fears of parenthood. Henry, played by Jack Nance, knocks up his girlfriend and she gives birth to a mutant baby. The little mutant baby is a lot like a real baby in as much as it just cries and cries and cries. So much so that in the middle of the night, his girlfriend Mary leaves in search of a good night's sleep and Henry has to watch the baby. He looks away for 2 seconds, turns back, and the baby is sick.
Oh, you are sick.
And let me tell you this mutant baby makes the whole damn movie. Eraserhead is very much a sum of its parts kind of movie, but this little mutant baby puppet, if it doesn't work, the whole movie falls apart. And I am happy to say that the little mutant baby delivers on every front. It's all wet and gross looking, yet still has like a sweetness and innocence to it. The eyes, holy crap, the eyes on this little puppet and the facial expressions that it makes, so expressive, and the sound design, amazingly good. You feel bad when this baby gets sick, but you also understand Henry's reluctance to this situation. He has no idea that he was going to be in, much less having to do it all alone, and it's frightening to him. Henry has dreams or visions of things I really can't tell you what they all are. I mean, sure, there's a lot of theories and ideas out there as to what Lynch is trying to say in this movie, and I'm sure I'll delve into all those kind of theories and ideas at some point, but I am glad that when he's asked about his movies and what they mean, Lynch most often answers,
"Shut up! That's why!"
Do turn this sucker up if you've got a home theater. The nearly relentless deep bass notes put you in that industrial hellscape, keeps you under its thumb while all this pressurized bass waves come at you. It is super effective. Sound design is so important for this movie. Now, to some movie watchers, the events of Eraserhead are going to be confusing, confounding. They may even seem a bit pretentious. And perhaps they are, but that doesn't necessarily make them bad in my opinion. The thing I noted most in Eraserhead wasn't like the stark imagery or anything, it was really the sure-handedness of its direction. These don't look like regular sets, these don't look like Hollywood actors. This isn't an A, then B, then C type of movie. But don't think for 1 second that what you're seeing on screen isn't what Lynch wanted you to see. A lesser filmmaker doesn't do what Lynch does in this film. You might not know what he's doing or what he's actually trying to say, but Lynch is so sure-handed in what he's pulling off here that you really can't help but admire it, and I quite admire the fact that he took 3 years to shoot this sucker. This was really a labor of love to him, and ultimately it paid off because this was the film that launched his entire career. But there was always one thing that David Lynch did, and that's what he wanted to do, man. He was an odd cat, and we broke the mold with that one, I'm pretty sure. Overall, I liked Eraserhead more than I expected. It's an odd, surrealist nightmare of a film that has something to say, even if you're not quite sure what it is. And it's cool that you and your friends can BS forever and a day about what the hell Lynch was trying to say in this movie. And the best part is, it's art, so it's up for interpretation, you know? Ultimately, I'm glad I waited as long as I did to see it because I think I'm much more appreciative now of what Lynch is doing in this movie than I would have been several years ago. I've still got a lot more Lynch films that I have yet to see. Let me know in the comments below which David Lynch gap I should fill in next. Make sure you like and subscribe for more Filling in the Gaps episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Relentless, deep bass notes put you in that kind of industrial hellscape that keeps you under its thumb. This pressurized bass wave just keeps coming at you. I had to belch.